Hi, thank you for clicking on the video, and I hope everyone is doing really well. So today I am going to be talking about the similarities and differences between fat acceptance and body positivity. I believe that the lines between these two ideas or concepts, the lines are starting to blur. So first I want to start with kind of a general definition of fat acceptance and a general definition of body positivity. And then I'm just going to kind of stream of consciousness, give you my take on both, touch a little bit on how they are crossing over into each other, why people, when they hear one, they think of the other and they're confusing them and they're kind of lumping everyone together. You know, you say I'm body positive or I'm, part of the body acceptance movement, and people automatically assume that means you are for fat acceptance or health at every size, and ideas like that. What is the fat acceptance movement?
The fat acceptance movement is a social movement seeking to change anti-fat bias in social attitudes by raising awareness among the general public about the obstacles faced by fat people. Areas of contention include the aesthetic, legal, and medical approaches to people whose bodies are fatter than the social norm.
So that is the general summary that Wikipedia has given us on fat acceptance.
Body positivity is a social movement initially created to empower and shed light on plus-size women and men while challenging the ways in which society presents and views the physical body. The movement advocates the acceptance of all bodies regardless of physical ability, size, gender, race, or appearance.
From that just very general understanding of both ideas, it almost sounds like it's all good. When I hear one and I hear the other, what comes to mind for each? It is my understanding that health at every size falls under the category of fat acceptance rather than body positivity. I see fat acceptance as complacency, stagnating. It's a self-approving movement. You surround yourself by like-minded individuals who will be kind of yes men and say yes to your way of thinking, therefore excluding outside ideas or thoughts or opinions. By surrounding yourself by people who completely agree with you and are always, cheering you on, even in a detrimental state of being, and saying, it's okay, you're healthy at every size. By ignoring or rejecting opposing opinions, it's not just rejection, it is completely becoming angered by opposing opinions or opposite opinion. Self-approving company leads to self-fulfillment, almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's almost like you put on blinders to opposite opinions, so therefore you only see your own opinion and you're always validating yourself and your own opinion. You allow yourself to become angered by anyone who might think differently. I've also noticed among people who preach fat acceptance, there's this disordered obsession with being perfect. Not in the sense that people are striving for perfection, it's that they already see themselves as perfect. And when you're perfect, there couldn't be possible room for improvement. And when you're perfect, you're also never wrong. And now I'm going to go over just kind of my thought process around body positivity and a little bit of why, while I don't completely identify as a body positive advocate or anything like that, here's why I would say I can confidently and without too much hesitation support this movement over fat acceptance. So I see body positivity as a stepping stone to bettering yourself. I see body positivity as a form of self-love and self-care. I feel like body positivity teaches you that there is room for improvement, but that doesn't mean that you're wrong at your current state. Just because you want to be better doesn't mean you were horrible or that you are horrible or you were horrible before. Wanting to be better just means that you see the error of your ways or places in your life that could get worked on both physically or mentally, health-wise. Body positivity preaches body acceptance, but open to change. open to progress, open to that journey moving forward and moving towards a better or the best version of yourself. But again, at the same time, being able to look at yourself at your current state and say, I accept this, but I can be better. A lot of people who are a little bit more boisterous in the body positive community, who do not fade into the fat acceptance, who are very body positive but anti-fat acceptance, I've noticed that there's a willingness to admit when they're wrong. There's a willingness to say, I'm not perfect. And I don't need to be perfect. What I need to do is love and accept myself. But again, always striving for the betterment of oneself. So if you asked me, like, even just a couple months ago, do I agree with any of these movements? And I would have adamantly said no. I was one of those people who just threw everything together: fat acceptance, body positivity, health at every size. I threw it all into one big pile and said that whole pile is toxic. And yes, there's a lot of toxicity within all these movements, but that's the case for any concept or movement. It's really about focusing on the good within these movements. It's very hard for me to see a lot of positive in fat acceptance, but I can see a glimmer of hope within body positivity, especially to the people who do not let the lines between fat acceptance and body positivity blur. The people who are strong within their convictions within body positivity and are saying that it's not about being complacent and it's not about just giving up and staying in your unhealthy state of living or state of being. Yes, there's no such thing as a bad body, but there is a thing such as a healthy body or a healthier body or a healthier way of living to improve your quality of life. I was holding beliefs that are very prominent within the body positivity community and that I had no idea. I was like, this is what I believe. And I'm still that type of person. Like I said, I'm not an activist or an advocate really in any of this. This is just, I've always thought this way. And it just happens that some of the things I believe about self-love and your body happen to fall within body positivity. I believe that there's nothing wrong with celebrating your body, but there is something wrong about celebrating unhealthiness, promoting unhealthiness. There is absolutely nothing wrong with a overweight or a morbidly obese person celebrating their life, being happy, showing joy, influencing people to find positivity. I feel like there's this whole thing where it's like plus size people aren't allowed to just be happy. There's nothing wrong with being happy. It's okay, but there is something wrong to attribute that happiness to your obesity. I'm just going to say it. I feel like with these movements, and this is the case for any movement, not to mention veganism, but to mention veganism, I see it within veganism as well. I see it within religion. I see it within politics. I see it within any communal grouping of ideology, beliefs, concepts, anything like that. It's going to be flawed when people make those movements their identity. Problem with that is when you make your whole identity based around your body or around your movement or your activism or anything like that, whenever you see opposition, you're more likely to react out of anger or emotional reaction. It's no longer a opposition to the movement, it's an opposition to your identity because you've completely encompassed your whole being with this ideology or this concept. And so when anyone opposes that concept, they are inherently opposing you. I think that's where people got the idea of, you're telling me my body is wrong. What they're really saying is my identity is wrong, who I am is wrong, and it's, well, you chose to make your identity about your body. Your identity and your body are not the same thing. They are not interchangeable. I'm speaking from observation, and I've just seen a lot more of that in the fat acceptance, but I have seen it in body positivity. It does sometimes shock me when there are people who are so adamantly opposed to body positivity. It's really fat acceptance that they're speaking out about. So I think the lines are being blurred. People are just attributing all of these movements as one. When I say I'm body positive, I'm saying one thing, but when I speak it to certain people, they're in their brain, they hear, oh, you're fat acceptance too. And I didn't say that. I'll be more likely to stand up for body positivity than the very non-existent chance I will stand up for fat acceptance. The company you keep, the images you look at, the things that you surround yourself with will influence you. I definitely have allowed myself to be more exposed to body positive posts, I guess. I was about to say propaganda, but it's not. They're not trying to like deceive me or anything, I don't think, at least. But the more I have willingly viewed body positive posts and articles and just general media about it, I have definitely come to see that. I agree with a bit of it. This whole time I've been trying to encourage myself to love myself as I am, even on the days when it's really hard to accept myself. I still need to be body accepting of myself, and that is a form of self-love by saying I love myself even when I don't feel like I love myself. I'm still going to take care of myself. I'm still going to do what I need to do to have a good day. I'm gonna always be seeking happiness and joy within my life and the people in my life. These are my goals. This is what I want. And even on days where I feel like absolute shit, those are the days when I need to love myself even more. Even when I don't feel love to myself, you still choose to love yourself. You choose to love unconditionally. People I can love unconditionally except for myself. There's always a condition. I have to be perfect before I can love myself. Body positivity isn't about perfection. It's about saying, you're good enough and I'm gonna love you because you're me. I need to, I have to, and I want to. I don't have to be perfect. I don't have to earn my own love. I've talked about fat acceptance. I've talked about body positivity. I've talked about health at every size. I've talked about these things in like criticism kind of talk. And I just want to talk a little bit more positive about some of these things. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you did not enjoy this video, give it a thumbs down. That is cool too. I don't mind. If you are not subscribed already, please consider subscribing and be sure to hit the notification bell to be notified of all future uploads. And a big thank you to everyone who has subscribed thus far. I really, really do appreciate it. So thank you so much. If you have any video suggestions, comments, questions, anything at all, feel free to leave that in the comment section below. Be sure to go follow me over on Instagram, and I will see you next time. Bye!